let us dive into the conversation on COVID-19.
Sure.
I'd like to know, first and foremost, how has it impacted your organization, SELCO Foundation, and how is SELCO responding to it internally, to make things work because of the social distancing, and to your community at large?
See, and if you look at a country like India where social distancing is going to be very, very difficult because of the population density, because of the way normal businesses work, and because it's on volumes and people, the labor force, everything else. So it's difficult. So the way SELCO has adapted, saying that SELCO Foundation, this is a time that SELCO Foundation should show its leadership because it's a foundation. There's no point preserving cash because it's not what the foundation should do. This is where it should directly jump in and say, what is that we should create so that the poor, there's a resilience, that we create a resilience for the poor to tide over the crisis. And this is where the foundation needs to play a role. And so to all my colleagues is that this is it. I mean, this is not a crisis. This is the time where SELCO Foundation is needed the most. It's like similar to saying that, oh, there's a crisis, so the doctor from a hospital says, I'm going to take a leave. Well, this is not the time for a doctor to take a leave. And this is not the time for SELCO Foundation to take the leave. This is the time to actually shine, and not shine not in a negative manner, but shine in a manner that, because it's a time where are you able to give a perspective about the crisis plus 1, crisis plus 4, 4 months, crisis plus 1 year. And so I think that is where internally we have been telling very clearly, but parallelly, because also we have a lot of youngsters, there has to be a lot of motivation, because many of them, none of us have gone through this crisis. And how do we keep a positive frame of mind when all 360 degrees, when they are at home, because they're all locked up at one way or the other? There's a staff in Bangalore, it's all negative, but a lot of the staff who is on the field are either being called by redesigning a hospital or to provide solar for police checkpoints. So there's the divide between the two. But I think this is one of the busiest times, I would say, where we are telling people that scratch your brains to the maximum. This is it. This is kind of the either the
crunch time.
Crunch time for all of us. Crunch time for maybe not. It's a crunch time for, so it's where a lot of lives depend on us, in terms of it's any failure from our side, that means a poor is going into abject poverty. And so think of that. It's not any day wasted from our side, that means 10 more families are going into poverty. So so for us, it's a pandemic outside. It's not a vacation. It's not a stay at home. It's not about sharing WhatsApp. Oh, this is what I did today. I did yoga, or I did this extra knowledge. That would be extremely selfish, I think. Extremely selfish. This is the time for you to dedicate 110% of your time for.
So what are some of the actions that SELCO have taken?
See, we have 2 or 3 types. What is our most important stakeholder is the end user. And we basically broke the end user into multiple, which are the poorest communities that we have been working for last 10 years. What are the poorest stakeholders, like the innovators, the incubatees, or the entrepreneurs, the small and medium enterprises in the energy sector that we've been working from. We've been working with them. The day the lockdown started, we started contacting each one of them and said, at least the top 10 will have 24/7 phone lines open. You have absolute right to call me anytime, 24/7, for whatever requirement is there. We have no idea what is going to happen for next week. So what is that is required for next week? Please tell us. If we are not able to do it, we will make sure some help comes to you. So week by week, we've been following individual clients, individual entrepreneurs, individual innovators, and saying that, okay, now this is happening. One is crisis time, but also I would say, are we able to help them move on. What happens? Are we giving them channels of option, hope that can you look at your diversification of what you call it as business? Can you look at different type of diversification? So that's what we've been actually handling, and yes, we are learning day by day. So it's what we've been
Isn't it
doing.
frustrating for you to be in the US right now and not being in the same time zone?
Very, I mean, extremely. But on the other hand, I've changed my time schedule. So the question is, it's 24/7. Even if I was in Bangalore, for example, I would have been stuck at home because the Bangalore is completely locked down. So I think yes, it's frustrating, but also sometimes I actually make myself feel better saying that I would have been stuck in Bangalore. So am I giving the same amount of time? So it's 24/7, whether it was Bangalore, whether it's here. Yeah, I mean, it's if you don't do this now, it's no point running the foundation.
Wow.
I would rather see foundation die now while doing this work rather than saying, oh, I saved my cash for better days. The businesses need to save cash, but a foundation needs to actually spend it for the sake for what it is supposed to be created for, right? This is what it is.